Hey everybody, welcome back to the Abom79 Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Booth.
It's Halloween week.
It
Yay!
is.
I'm Abby Booth. Hey. Halloween week.
Abby loves holidays.
I do. I especially love Halloween.
I can tell. Look at those earrings you got on.
Well, I wanted to be festive for it. I got my Halloween shirt. I got my Halloween earrings. I'm ready.
You've been wearing them all week, and everywhere we go, she gets compliments on her earrings. And we were at Chili's. We love Chili's.
We do.
We were there having lunch, and the nice hostess was talking to Abby about her earrings and how much she loved them.
I did not think loving Chili's was going to be a thing, but it is. I really do love that place. Every time we've been, it's been delicious.
You know what's been really nice about going to Chili's? Like, I think we used to both go to Chili's back in the day, like a lot of people went, is that we go there and it's a nice experience.
It is nice.
The people are nice and kind to you. You have good food, like it comes out. I've been getting that quarter pounder for $10.99.
Their honey mustard sauce, stop.
It's good stuff.
It's good.
Well, I love that cheeseburger, that quarter pounder, and it's definitely giving McDonald's a run for the money. But yeah, just good experience.
Yes.
You know. So.
We are not sponsored by them, but I would like to be.
Oh. Yeah. Hey, we've got some other things to talk to you guys about today.
I'm going to keep the Halloween theme going.
Yeah.
Because our niece came over, Keely, hey Keely, because we decorated the Kaiser.
Yes, you did.
I wanted to do that last year because I just feel like it needs to be decorated for holidays. And I ended up buying a giant witch hat that goes on those enormous skeletons, which I would like to point out I am really depressed that I don't own.
Just one of the giant skeletons?
I have to have one. When I see one like in the back of someone's car or something, I'm like, yes.
That's been a new thing.
Yes.
I've seen them in the back of people's trucks lately.
So I bought the giant witch hat and decorated the Kaiser. So it's really cute. I'm glad that we did that. We had a blast doing it. So I have a feeling that there's going to be more holidays represented on the Kaiser in the future.
It looked like y'all had a lot of fun doing that, and as Abby was saying, she has been wanting to dress up the Kaiser here on several of the holidays, and we just haven't ever gotten around doing it. This time she said, I'm gonna do it. And we are talking about the extra tank that goes with the Kaiser, not the compressor itself, but the storage tank that's up on top of the office there.
I was trying to get it, keep it out of your way so you didn't like trip over, bats and spider webs and things like that.
Well, it's fun,
fun.
And that's our shop to enjoy and have fun. The shop isn't there just to take in work, just to do parts and make income. It's there for us to enjoy in several ways, in many ways, in whichever way we want.
Yes.
So we like to have fun in our shop.
Yes, we do.
We want to go to our shop. We want to do some work, make some money, earn revenue. But we also want to use it for fun.
Yes.
Our projects, the things that we want to work on, and having a little bit of fun dressing up a tank. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Well, our niece has been coming almost every week now. She's helping us in the shop, and it's been really, really fun. So I taught her how to make videos last week or the week before. So one of the reels that went up on Adam's channel was made by her. She's 15.
Yeah, actually, it was the short and the reel of us going to our new Alro Metals outlet.
Yeah.
Abby sat her down and showed her how to edit a video, and that was her video that she edited together.
It was. So she did great. So anyway, that's been really fun.
It's been nice having Keely come over.
It has.
And she just hangs out for the day, and she really just kind of helps Abby.
Yep.
Abby's been pretty active with her personal eBay account, selling some of the things that she's been wanting to get rid of.
Ladies, if you need some jewelry, I've got jewelry on there. And anyway, my eBay store. So AB's Knees.
Shameless plug.
Is the name of the
AB's Knees.
AB's Knees. Well, I'm AB. I think it's adorable. So I say B's Knees all the time. So
and it's been doing really well for you.
It's been doing really well. I've been surprised, but I want to put a bunch of our my art that I've collected over the years from traveling. I have no room to put it, everybody. So I just want it to go to someone that will appreciate it. So we're going to be doing some things for Adam as well as we kind of go through the shop and everything. So we're going to be hitting the eBay.
Yep. I told Abby that I've always been an eBay user, but I've never sold anything until recently. I had that shaper tool on there, that Armstrong number 43, and I did it as a bid, as a 2-week bid. And it worked out well. The guy that ended up winning the bid, he had messaged me and said that he's been, a longtime viewer of the channel, and that he just wanted to support us, and he wanted to have something there on his desk that came from me.
So that's sweet.
That's who ended up with the tool there. But I am planning on putting other things on the channel. On the eBay store as we go through the shop and start kind of sort things, because I want to separate the things that mean the most to me, not only heritage tools, but things that I still want to have and use. And then the other half of the stuff is like surplus tooling, things that I don't necessarily need, but it's nice to have, but we're not really using them.
Or that you just want to get in the hands of someone that will use it and appreciate it and keep it going. Yeah.
I want to get the tools that I don't need anymore, or have decided to kind of like move away.
Yeah.
And do like you said, put it in the hands of the people that want them, that use them. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of our audience who have been trying to build up their own little home shop, their own machine shop. They're collecting machines, they're collecting tools. And a lot of this stuff is perfect for those kinds of guys, that's just looking for either measuring tools or end mills, drills, cutting tools that they can get to stock up their toolbox, so that they can do, the same kind of work for themselves out in the shop. And
we did announce our giveaway.
That's right.
For the drill index. So that's been exciting. Go ahead and tell them about that, because there's going to be a little bit of time left once they watch or listen to this.
Yeah, exactly. So by the time you guys see this, there's going to be a few days left in the giveaway. So if you're interested in this, please go to our website, abom79.com. Right there on the home page, there's going to be there's some kind of banner I believe Abby made that's got a button on it. You just click that. It's going to take you right to the page, and you have to put in your name, your email address. I think those are the only two things. Yeah. And it's going to put you into the drawing. And we are giving away 2 of our Abom79 drill indexes with the drills.
Yes.
One set of drills is going to be the number 157, and then the other set is the 2001 series drills. And we're really excited about this. This is kind of like kicking things off with our drill index stands, and we wanted to give a couple away. We are going to have more giveaways down the road. I want to keep this trend going and have like a little giveaway here and there to give away a drill index.
That's right. Yes.
But if you're interested, go to the website and enter your chance to win the index. There's no purchase necessary. You just got to put your name and email, and everyone's eligible. So it will end October 31st, 2025. I'm saying that just because this is going to be on YouTube for a long time.
Yep.
And then we're going to pick the winners at random.
Yes.
Abby's going to use an app or something that's going to randomly select 2 names.
Yes. And we know that this sucks, but it was only for the U.S. this time.
Yeah.
It's just because of shipping and everything is so weird. So just bear with us. We promise that we will not screw over all of our listeners from overseas. So
no. It's more about, like, this has been one heck of a journey, going from an idea, I want to make a product, to designing the product, to machining the prototypes to get the product proven out.
Yes.
Then to, okay, now we got to start thinking about production. So we get into the production. We order the material, which is very expensive. We machine the parts, and then we got to figure out they need to be anodized. They need to look good and be protected. That was a process.
Yes.
But we finally got that process figured out. We wanted to work with Greenfield Industries on being able to supply the drills for the drill index, and that worked out great. It just took a little while. We finally got it figured out. It takes time. It's not something that you can just do in a week or 2 or even a month. It takes a long time to figure it out. So even we had to get all of our shipping established, and we're not even there yet.
Shipping is a nightmare. I'm sorry, it is really a nightmare right now. It's unbelievable what it is. Especially, I mean, obviously, if you're coming into the U.S., it's crazy. But like, everything is just expensive for shipping.
It is, and we actually established a UPS account to kind of get that started. But now we're realizing, like, even with UPS, it's when you compare prices to UPS to USPS. The Postal Service actually offers better rates, But, of course, they don't cater to everything. If you've got a package like this or small stuff, it's perfect for that. But if you have big packages, that's a different subject, and you got to go something like UPS.
And if it's heavy, yeah.
And then we have to deal with large, heavy crates, pallets. So we have to set up an LTL account with a trucking company. So, so we worked on that. Now we have an account set up so that we can call and schedule pickups for trucks. But man, it's just, there's so many things that you have to like figure out how to do and learn about and get established with a business. And it's not easy. It's not fun. It just takes some time and a little bit of, you have to just jump in there and figure it out.
We are getting better. I mean, we've learned so many things. It's not even funny. So, I mean, we'll get there. We'll get there.
So we got UPS figured out. We're still working on USPS because it's still it's not really a full-fledged business account, but we're working on that. And then we want to work on another shipping account that is going to help us with overseas shipping.
Yes.
We don't know who that is. You have UPS, you have FedEx, and then you have DHL as well. And I told Abby, I said, let's maybe look into DHL, because I've received quite a few packages from overseas that were DHL. So maybe that's a good company to use. So that's just something else that we have to work on, and we're going to work on, and we will get it figured out because we want to be able to offer our products to everyone out there.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
I wanted to talk about something that happened in the shop, and it made me laugh. It's about selling the ML16. So I'd like you to talk about that, because that was
You must be talking about me.
I am talking about you.
She's talking about me.
I am.
Okay. You want me to discuss that?
I do.
I think it's something funny to talk about. So I told Abby one day, I think it was the day that the machine was actually getting moved. I said, I have come to the realization that machine day is one of the biggest anxiety-induced days that I ever get. And why that is, I'm not exactly sure, but I get so worried, and I hate using that word, worried. But I do get so worried whenever these days come and we have to deal with unloading and moving an expensive machine, right?
Yes.
And then the day comes where the machine has to be picked up and taken outside and loaded onto a truck. And it's stress-induced, I'm telling you. And I've just come to realize that's how I really, I think it would probably be good if I just wasn't even there. Because when I'm there, I'm constantly like looking, and I'm like anticipating what the guys are going to be doing next. And you want to go out there and you want to try to suggest things to them or ask them like, well, why are you doing that? Shouldn't you be doing this? But you don't want to be over somebody that's supposed to be there doing their job. Well, they're there to do their job, and you have to let them do their job, right?
Anybody that has watched you over the years probably will know that this is true. But Adam has one of those brains where he looks at a situation in its entirety. He's moving things because he can see that this might be in the way. There's no trip hazards. There's no cords in the way. Like
trip
everything.
Hazards.
Well, he hates trip hazards. He trips on everything.
You know what really
Everybody
grinds my gears? Trip hazards.
So he's thinking things through, and then when someone comes into the shop that isn't necessarily thinking things through, he gets.
That's when I start getting annoyed.
I
really do. I start getting frustrated. I start getting annoyed, and a lot of times you have to just be calm and collect and just let it happen. So let's back up just a second and start with, we sold the Miltronics ML16 CNC lathe. We got that sold. That was sold through a machinery dealer. They had it listed, and there was somebody interested, and they negotiated a price, and we sold it. And for the most part, everything worked out really well, and it's kind of nice being able to go through a machinery dealer. And that's really the whole reason why I did that, is because it's kind of like, it's their job. It's their job to put it out there. It's their job to list it, to talk to people, negotiate with people, all those kinds of things. And once it's sold, once they have a buyer and it's sold, I believe how it works is the customer has to pay the machinery dealer. And then once they get their money, then we get paid.
Right.
So it's like a wire transfer, and we get paid. At that point is when the machinery dealer owns that machine, right? And it's also their responsibility to hire a rigging service to come in there and move that machine. They also have to hire a truck to come and take it away. And so at that point, it's not your machine anymore.
No.
All right. But it's still in your shop. And then so these people have to come in and remove it. So, it ties up at least half your day. That one was a half a day. It was actually more than a half a day.
Yeah.
Something that should have been very relatively simple and easy takes half your day. So, we do a lot of content creation. So anytime that there's a day like that, where there's people in the shop moving machines, we can't film anything. Not work anyway. Of course, we can get a little video of people moving machines, but that wasn't something I was interested in. That was a sold machine.
Yep.
We had a lot of great content with the ML16. That was our first technically first CNC, because that one came first. But we've moved on. We've got another CNC lathe in there from Miltronics. But anyway, the machine was sold. And so the dealer he negotiates a price with a rigging company to come in. And he chose somebody that I've never seen before, never heard of before, never used before. Nice guy, but a different level than what I remember seeing from, like, our last experience with Southway was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
Those guys were very pro, very professional.
Organized, great communication.
Exactly, right there. When we moved that ML16, we moved it towards the front of the shop against the wall so that it would be pretty easy to retrieve that lathe and get it out of the shop, right? And my thought process the whole time was that whoever's going to come in here and get this, jacks it up, puts it on the skates, and moves it around here by the door, and then they can lift it up and just back right out of the shop, right? So the guy shows up, and he never even came in to inspect it beforehand. I guess he just quoted, "Yeah, we can do that," And then they show up, and he comes over and looks at it, bends down. The first thing he says is, "Oh man, we're not going to be able to pick it up with the forklift because the bed, the way the casting is made on the bottom, where the chip pan is, the casting goes up right there." And I heard him say that, and I'm just thinking to myself,
your heart sank, didn't it?
This is your job, dude. Like you're being paid to do this. Don't say that you can't pick it up. But anyway, he came up with a quick solution. He says, "No, we can just block up this side with dunnage, so that the fork should be under the bottom of the headstock and be able to pick up the bed with the blocks." So I'm like, okay, that makes perfect sense. Hopefully you can handle that. And so I asked him, I was like, "All right, you brought some skates with you, right?" "Yeah, we got some skates." And I was thinking, well, what does that mean? He said, "Well, I think I can just drive in here with my forklift and get in front of it and pick it up and just back it out." I'm thinking, there's really not a lot of room in here for that gigantic forklift to come in here, right? And I already moved everything back.
Yes.
I moved the hide mix saw out of the way, so that wasn't in the way. I moved my toolbox back. Everything was back.
The welding table moved.
Yeah, I mean, that was over against the wall.
Yeah.
Plenty of room, But he wanted to bring the forklift in there. So I'm like, okay. All right. So he comes in there, and he's got, I think he said it's 11-foot forks. So he's got these super long forks. Maybe it was 8 foot. I don't really remember, but they're really long forks. So he drives in, and he has to turn 90 degrees to line it with the lathe. The forks are so long, so he had to pick the forks up over the lathe and then try to get backed up. The Precision Matthews lathe was an inch away from the back of the forklift.
There's where
I'm
his
standing over there
anxiety comes in.
Please do not hit my lathe.
Yeah.
His helper was there, so he had a guy communicating with him. So they worked really well together. It was just two guys. But then he couldn't bring the forks down because they were too long, right? And all the while, I'm seeing those tires being turned inside my shop. And it's just putting black marks all over my shop floor. Black tire marks.
It's not funny, but it's It's a
So
little
you want to
funny.
know what else grinds my gears? Black tire marks on the shop floor. Me and Abby talk about this. This is actually something that she said, we ought to talk about this in the podcast. I wasn't even thinking I was going to talk about it, but yeah, black tire marks all over the shop floor. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, these guys aren't going to clean up these tire marks. Like, they don't do that. But yet these tire marks. And so anyway, the forklift wouldn't fit. Moral of the story, the forklift wouldn't fit. So he had to go to the plan that I thought was going to be the plan to begin with. Put this machine on skates, turn it 90 degrees so that it's in line with the big door right there by it's at. Drive your forklift in, pick it up, and back it out. Well, that's what they did. That's what they ended up having to do. And when they did that, it took them all of 20 minutes. And they had the machine out. They had it sitting there, ready to load. And
But then the truck wasn't there.
And then where's the truck? Where's the truck at, right? So the rigging guys were scheduled to be there 8 to 8:30. They showed up, and they got the machine out. The truck was scheduled to be there at 10 a.m. No truck.
No truck.
So I text the seller, and I said, "There's no truck here, man." You know, and he says, "All right, let me know at 10:15 if he's not there." Text him at 10:15. Truck's still not here. So he sends me a text. Is this the correct address? Because he says that he's there. And I looked at the address, and it's exactly right.
Yeah.
No, there's no truck here. I mean, do you see a truck? There's no truck out here.
To be able to see it.
So anyway, the truck shows up, I think, by 11 o'clock. I think the truck finally gets there at 11 o'clock. He was at the wrong location, but nobody would admit that. Then he got stuck behind a train, he says, so that delayed him even more. So anyway, what I always find funny about some of these truckers is that this guy pulled up. He gets out of the truck. He's wearing Crocs. Crocs. Right? Why do
Not
truckers
functional.
that have to have things loaded on their truck, they have to go in their boxes and pull all these chains and binders and shackles, straps and tarps? Why are you wearing Crocs and shorts? Would you not want to protect your toes and your feet?
Agreed. I understand you driving in Crocs. Like, totally understand that.
Yes, driving.
Drive with your Crocs on. Like,
Yeah.
it's comfortable. You're moving around. You're filling up with gas or whatever. But like, if you have to do any functional thing, I would think you would put your boots on.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
think that. Yeah.
The guy that delivered the
Poor
Flex,
guy.
whenever the Flex arrived a few years ago, this guy, he was like a good old boy, you
Yeah.
know. He got out, and as he opened his door, I saw him. He grabbed his slip-on boots, and he came around because he was driving with just his socks on. He slipped his boots on. He got out of the truck and started working.
Because he knocked his Croc off. He had Crocs on. You know that.
Probably.
Again, not dogging the Crocs. I love Crocs.
But anyway, so the truck driver gets out, and he's wearing Crocs, and I'm just over there just like, I mean, come on, man. What's wrong with some work boots when you're working? Anyway, they get the machine loaded up. It was another one of those things where I'm like in the shop, and I'm kind of looking out there like, oh, come on, man, please don't do that. But anyway, they get it loaded up. Excuse me. They get the machine loaded up, and I wanted to be sure that the trucker knew to not put a strap or a chain over the top of that machine.
You even put signs on there.
There
were signs on there.
The
Yeah.
signs that came on the lathe, I
Yeah.
saved it.
Yeah.
So I taped it on the door. I put all of the shipping brackets back on the lathe so that the doors wouldn't move. Everything was bound the way it should have been. I wrapped up the controller and the manual controls with like cardboard and foam and plastic wrap. And so anyway, so they finally get it on there, and I go out there to talk to the truck driver, make sure everything's cool. And he asked me, and I got the paperwork right there, and it says machine must be tarped. And he asked me, do I have to tarp this thing? And I said, yes, sir, it needs to be tarped. You don't want this thing to get rained on, you know? And he asked me, what is this? It looks expensive. I said, it is expensive. It is expensive, very expensive. I said, it's a CNC lathe.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, it looks like some kind of printer. That's what he said.
Okay.
I'm like, no, it's
No.
a lathe, And I don't expect everybody to know what this stuff is, but I told him that's a CNC lathe. And it's very expensive. And I want to make sure that you only bind it down on the base of the machine. It's not my job to even say anything, but that's how my mind works. I'm like so worried about it. So the riggers they did something I did not expect. They had these plates with them that he said came with the Herco machines. I don't know, this is what he said. You unscrew the jacking bolt, the leveling bolts all the way out, and this plate goes in, it's got a hole in it, and you run the jacking bolt back through that and back down in the casting. So that there's a plate there that's sticking out that has another hole burned in it that you then hook a shackle to. And he actually put that on all the leveling feet so the trucker would have a way to chain it and bind it down.
So they nailed that.
They nailed that. They nailed that right there. And so when I was out there talking to the truck driver again, he asked me, he goes, should I crisscross the chains on this? I told him, I said, look, man, it's not my job to tell you how to chain this thing down.
Yeah.
You were hired to truck it out of here, and I'm not going to tell you how to chain the thing down. I said, but they put these plates on here, so I would suggest hook your shackles and chains to the plates and tie it down however you need to. So,
on a side note, the driver, he almost died of heat exhaustion, and I am not kidding.
Yeah.
He's not from Florida. I know that. It was a nice, beautiful day. Like, we finally had
a beautiful Florida day.
A cut in the weather. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 78 degrees probably.
No, this was, I think it was still around 85.
Okay.
Because this is getting into the afternoon now. It was about 85 degrees, but it was relatively low humidity, blue skies.
It was beautiful out.
And I walk out there to see how he's doing, and he asked me, he goes, do you have any water I can buy from you? And I told him, I was like, no, I got some water. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
And so I went into the shop, to the fridge. I grabbed 2 water bottles. I walked them out there, gave it to him. He instantly just sucked one down. And he was talking. He goes, it's so hot out here. It's so hot. I'm like, well, it's actually not as hot as it usually is out here because the weather's nicer. And so leave him do his job, right? And he comes back in probably 20 minutes later into the office. We were both in there working, and he said, I'm sorry to bother you. Do you got any more water? I'll buy it from you.
I mean, he looked like he was like
exhausted.
in the desert.
And so we keep gallons of water in the office for our water cups. And so I told him, I was like, you know what, here you go. I grabbed a brand new gallon of water and I handed it to him. I said, here, just take that.
Yeah.
And then I told him, we walked outside and I pointed right across the street. I was like, there's a gas station right there if you need some water or food. There, just walk right there. But I gave him a gallon of water because he was thirsty. So I asked Abby, I said, do truckers not keep like basic water and food like on their
I know
trucks?
there are truckers that are listening to this and they're going, no, we always do.
You would think that it's bare necessities, like you have something to drink, you have your water on there, you have your snacks so when you're driving, but this guy, he didn't have any water with him at all. So anyway, we gave him water. We didn't charge him for it. It was just the right thing to do. Just trying to help somebody out, and he was struggling.
Poor guy.
And so it was lunchtime. So Abby and I, we left. We went to lunch. He was still there working on chaining the machines down.
I bet his feet were like squidgy
in
his Crocs. Oh, gross.
But we get back from lunch, and as soon as we pull up, my buddy Joe next door calls me. He says, hey, are you there? I said, well, we just got back from lunch. He says, that truck driver came over asking if I can come over with my forklift and pick up this tarp for him. I said, well, I just got here, so I'll go talk to him. So I walked out there, and he had the tarp kind of like laid out on the ground. And he says, well, I need somebody to like pick the tarp up over the machine so that I can unfold it on top of the machine. Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like the job of the rigging crew should have helped him do that, but they were long gone by that point. So I went out there with our forklift, and the driveway there is not the place that you really want to take the forklift. It's getting bad. So I was worried about getting stuck. But I did it. We picked it up. He was able to get up there. He asked, can I climb up here on top of the machine? I was like, do what you got to do, but like, just be careful, man.
Yeah.
I was actually more worried about him falling off the thing and like having to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
You know, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Anyway, he got the job done. It took him a long time. I think it was around 3 o'clock is when he finally pulled out of there with that ML.
Poor guy. Maybe it was like his first time. He was young. I don't know.
But you see, it's like, this is the kind of stuff that you get into, that you have to worry about, you know? And it's like, what if I was in the shop working on a hot rush job for somebody that I needed to focus on, and all this was going on?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying. It's like an interruption. But everything worked. Everything, the machine got loaded out safely. Nobody was hurt. The machine wasn't damaged.
No.
And hopefully it reached its destination. I was going to reach out to the seller to ask him, did it get there safely and everything. It was actually sold to someone in Washington State.
I want to go there.
It went from Florida to Washington State.
It's amazing.
I did hear that the customer, the guy that bought it, is a Miltronics owner. He's got a mill already, and he was wanting one of the MLAs and found that one. And
That's
bought
totally
it.
cool.
So anyway, that was a very stress-induced day, and
I never looked once. I
She
never
didn't.
looked once.
She
I was
stayed
making
at her computer the
videos,
whole
and I was
time.
like, I can't, because he kept coming in and he was doing the, I don't know. And every time he came in, I'm like, I'm not going out there. I'm not even going to look. I
Yeah.
never looked once.
Yeah.
Never looked once.
So we got a bunch of tire marks that we need to clean up.
We do.
Yeah, bunch
do.
of tire marks out there, but.
He was not happy, guys. He was not happy about that.
Am I the only one that gets annoyed? Tell me, am I the only one that gets annoyed about tire marks in the floor? It's one of those things that grinds my gears. It's like, I don't know why, but it does. That's why when we bought a forklift, I told him I wanted the warehouse tires, like the non-marking tires,
Yeah.
on there. But anytime somebody comes in the shop, it's got those big, gigantic black rubber tires, and they have to turn the tires a bunch of times, so it just puts
Maybe
black
some
marks
people
all
just
over.
don't even notice. I'm not sure.
I think
You have a different brain than most people.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I do.
So we were very excited to welcome Steve Sherman into the shop.
Yeah.
I know that you were so excited for him to get there and to help you with the machine. So explain what he was there to do.
Yeah, exactly. Steve Sherman works for Miltronics. He's one of the technical guys that goes out to different customers, helping them with their machines. He does training, one-on-one training. So if you purchase a machine, he'll come down and work with you for a day and get you up to speed on the machine. He's also my contact with Miltronics when I'm having an issue or I need help. I will send him an email, and he always responds, and he always calls me, and just a great guy, a good friend to know, and I really appreciate what he does to help me out there.
Yes.
So we got the machines. I think the last podcast we talked about the new machines arriving. They got hooked up, ready to go. So we had a day scheduled where Steve came down for the day. He was in for a couple hours in the afternoon, the day that he arrived, and then the next day we had a full day, and then he had to leave to go to his next customer, But he came down and worked with me, and we went over the new mill and the new lathe. We actually spent a little bit more time on the lathe than we did the mill, just because it's a little bit different. It's a lathe, but it's very intimidating. Yeah, I am very intimidated by both of these new machines.
Oh, they're so pretty.
Just because they're slightly different than what I'm used to using now. There's upgraded features on these machines, and we went over some of those things. We got to do a little bit more practice with Conversational. That is one of the benefits of a Miltronics, and one of the selling points of a Miltronics is that they have their own software, and they're known for their conversational programming. So you don't have to have a CAD program in order to use a Miltronics. You can program directly at the machine. Now I'm gonna mention something that I think kind of goes along with this. The Conversational is excellent for relatively simple parts. Now you can do some complex parts, but if you have a part, I did a little sample this week. If you have a shaft that needs to be turned and threaded and parted off, that is a really simple part to go to your Conversational and use that software and write a program in order to do that. You don't really necessarily have to have a CAD program. If you're doing something in the mill, say you have a block of metal that you need to do some machining on with an end mill, you need to drill some holes, tap some holes, mill a pocket in it, things like that. Conversational, it works really well. And they really try to fill that gap of manual machinists like myself and like so many people out there that want to make that merge into CNC machining, but are like intimidated, and they're not really sure. They're really trying to fill that void. of guys going from a manual mill or manual lathe over here to the the CNC machines to do the same work. But then you have so much more capability on top of that with these new machines. You can use the conversational to create these programs that need to be, and then the benefit on top of that is once you have the program proven and it's there, it's repeatable. You've got these parts that you're making, just say you've got a steel plate that's got to have these hole patterns drilled in it. You go over to the manual mill, you have to do all the tool changes, you have to pull the quill handle, take the part off, put the new one in there. With a CNC, the benefit is there, it's repeatable at that point. You got all the hard work done, now you're just putting parts in there and you're getting it done much more efficient, much more faster, and simpler. Same thing on the lathe too. Once you've gone through the work of designing the program, it's repeatable. The program's on there. A year down the road, a customer comes back, hey, you remember that part that you turned and threaded for me? You think you can make me like 10 more of those? Yes, I can.
Yes, I
Program's
can.
right there. You got to make sure your tools are set. So like I'm learning in the case of if it's something that comes back after a while, you have to go through the process of getting the tools into the machine that you need, getting one part cut, make sure that it's right, and then you're off to the races, and it's just making products. But anyway, what I was saying was that Steve came down and worked with me for a day, and it's always a joy having him around.
So knowledgeable. I know we talked about it before. It really is amazing how much he knows about those machines.
Yeah, he is he knows the Miltronics stuff so well. And there's so many things in the background that like I'm not even aware of. He's on there and he's making some adjustments, and he's just he can write G code. He knows all of the programming. One of the other cool thing about Conversational is that when you're in there creating a program with Conversational, there's pages there that have all of your G codes, everything, all of them there, so you can see, and it tells you what that G code does. So for example, we wanted to add the parts catcher to the program, and so you come down here, and I want to say it was like, I'm going to be wrong here, but I think it was like G51 or something like that. G51, G52 was like parts catcher out, then it comes, it parts it off, and then parts catcher, it flips it in and flips the part to like a little box. It was so cool seeing that actually work for the first time. It was almost like I don't know, like those machines that like the claw machine, or something those. Like that where it spits out. It was like ka-ching, and then it's like you open the drawer. Oh, look at that! There's a finished part. It was so cool. We had a great time. So we got that, and then we went over to the mill, and we were able to play around with the mill a little bit. It has the new updated controller on it. They call it the Inspire controller. It works the same way as their other controller that's on the lathe and the TRM, but it is updated, so you have better graphics on it. The buttons and everything is configured a little bit differently on the front there, so you actually have a keyboard instead of it being up on the panel. But we didn't really have a lot of time to go deep into that, so I'm gonna have him come back down maybe in November. I'd like him to come back down for at least like a whole day, and I'd like some more practice with the Conversational.
Yes.
The CAD side I've got because I use Fusion and I work with Kevin on that, but I really want to get more efficient with the Miltronics Conversational there as well, so that I can use both. I'd like to be where I can use either one that I want to and feel good about it, and not having to send emails and phone calls, like, hey, how do I do this? I'd like to get better at that,
I love how excited you get with this. He'll come in and just go, this is what just happened. And I think it's so exciting. Yeah, it is. It is, and I think about it all the time. It's like there's some days that the light bulb finally goes off. Yeah. Or turns on, should I say? Whenever you finally understand how something's working, but then you take a simple little part and you make the machine do exactly what it is you want to do, and it's done in a matter of minutes, maybe sometimes seconds, and it's like, oh, look at that. Yeah. That's so nice, I need some more parts in here because I want to watch it do it again, Yeah. There's been plenty of times where,
I have to be very careful, so I'm slowing everything down to make sure that nothing crashes, and it gets the cutting done, and before you know it, it's finished, and then the part's done. And I'm like, well, I want to see that again. I want another piece of material in there. So a lot of times when I'm practicing and I'm learning and I'm proving something, I like having multiple pieces of material there so that I can, once one is finished, I can pull it out and I can start it again. Because sometimes you need to make improvements, you need to make modifications to the program and do something to improve that. But it is a lot of fun and it is exciting seeing the capabilities. And I tell you what, I've absolutely loved our TRM Miltronics mill. I love it, and I've gotten really used to that machine. So our new VM is actually a little intimidating to me.
Yeah,
it's intimidating, and I think with all new machines now, all of the engineers are trying to design and build in a lot of safety into these machines to make sure that they operate safely, that people don't get hurt. So the VM is a little bit different animal that I have to get used to, not only for just the work in general, but capturing content to share on the channel. It's going to be a little more challenging. So I got to find new places. I want to get some more lighting put in there because on our TRM, I actually have clip lights inside with nice warm lighting, so it lights everything up nice and bright. The VM has the stock lighting in there, but I need more light.
It's never enough. Yeah.
So I need to get some extra lights to put in there that I can turn on. And I'm going to have to figure out some good places for cameras to go in there. But one of the things that I'll also have to get used to is that the door interlock this time. The door on my TRM, I can actually open it anytime I want. But, the VM has the door interlock on there. So
when the program is running,
you can't open the door, so that's going to be a little bit different there.
Yeah.
You can't open the door when it's running. The door has to be shut when you're jogging the machine. If you're just moving the table, you have to have the door shut. If you're using the hand wheel mode, you can have the doors open. If you're doing a tool change, door has to be shut. They're trying to protect you in case something doesn't work right. So just a little bit getting used to, but once I do get used to it and we get it fully set up and ready to go, it's going to be a part making machine right there.
Yes.
It's going to run efficient. They said the new controller does even a better job than their old one there, so you get better finishes, better control of it. And it's a faster machine. It's got higher RPM. And another huge benefit that we have with the VM is the through spindle coolant. So we'll be able to run, through tool coolant. Whenever we continue to invest in new tools, we can make sure that we get the through tool coolant on there so that it blows the coolant directly at the tip of the cutters.
You get so excited about that.
It's exciting.
We've talked about that a lot, you and me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fun. It's fun learning about all this stuff and getting to see the capabilities. I've got a long time career doing everything manual. So when I see these things happen very quickly and efficiently on a CNC, it does get me excited to see just how well that actually works.
Yeah.
I still love using my manual machines. I still love going out there. I've told us before, sometimes it's nice, especially on days like we're having now in the fall here, where you got the door open, you can turn the music on and jam to some tool. You've got a little project that you're going to put in the middle of the lathe and work on. No cameras nearby. You're just enjoying yourself. I love those days. But on these jobs that we have that we want to do, production work, customer work, it's you got to get out there and you got to get on the machine and figure out everything and how you're gonna do your work holding, what tools you're gonna use. It takes a little bit of time, But I'm excited to get the new VM running and operating and making some parts.
The work holding really is a podcast. We could talk all day about that.
I think every
really
podcast
is amazing. Really. Work holding is just so cool.
We've been investing in some new work holding for the VM, and we have some stuff coming. We've got our new vices in, so we've got a couple of new double station vices, the Toolex brand, which are made by Tico Work Holding, Tico Manufacturing. They have these double station vices that they're called relock. So the jaws are made to snap on there, and they fit and sound good when you put that jaw in there and you push it down and it snaps into place.
It does, yeah.
It really is kind of like satisfying.
Yeah.
But these vices, you can buy the jaws in 4140. You can buy them in aluminum. They have different configurations, and they're reversible. So in one orientation, you can have one operation set up, and if you want to have a second operation using the same vise, you take all 3 jaws off. You have a center jaw that's rigid that bolts down using socket head bolts. So the top of that one's machined for one op. You take it off, you flip it upside down and bolt it back down. There's your second operation. The 2 moving jaws, you remove those, you rotate them 180 degrees and snap them back on there, and then they're in the configuration for op 2. You know, so that's what I'm actually working on now. Is I want to get those vices set up and get the jaws machined for our drill index. And we're going to have, I decided we're going to have the left vise for op 1 and the right side for op 2. And my goal is to, every time we open the doors, we pull 2 completed drill indexes out of the machine. You take the material on the left side, flip it upside down onto the right vise. You grab 2 more pieces of stock, you set them in the left vise, you tighten everything up, close the doors, hit cycle start, and it repeats the process.
That's totally awesome.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. So we're constantly trying to learn, improve, make things better, make things more efficient, and it's just going to take some time, but we're working on it there.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited to get that done. So like my next machining project is, you have to machine the jaws, properly. So that's what I'm going to be working on real soon here. Hopefully next week I'm going to be getting those machined. Yep.
I know that when I read comments and everything about, people being negative about CNC,
Yeah.
a lot of times people will say it's just standing at a computer, and I always laugh because I always think of workholding. I know that's not, it doesn't have anything to do with the computer. It's just, you'd have to know all these things. Like, you can't just walk in there and go, all right, I'll just do this. Like, there's so much that goes into it. That's all I mean.
There is a lot that goes into
Yeah.
it. And a lot of times you are standing or sitting in front of a computer because you have to do the design work, you have to do the modeling, you have to stand at the machine and get things done. But it's made for modern manufacturing.
Yeah.
If someone wants to stand in front of a manual mill all day long, drilling the same part over and over and over again, just because there's some kind of glory in using your arm to drill a hole, versus going to a CNC and letting the machine do all the hard work,
Yeah.
then more power to you.
Especially as you get older.
But there's
when
nothing
you're
wrong
20,
with-
it's totally okay. But
There's nothing wrong, and a lot of people are realizing this, that you can have both.
yes.
You can have your manual machines right here, and you can have your really nice CNC machines right here,
Yeah.
and enjoy both. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have the best of both worlds and use all of them
Yeah.
for the work, not just one or the other.
Yeah.
If you've got a onesie, twosie part, something that you're just proving, the manual machines, then go to them and
Yeah.
use that.
Yeah.
But if you've got that same part and all of a sudden you got to make 100 of them, then it would be nice to go
Yeah.
to an NC controlled machine and let the machine do all the work there.
Yeah.
So I am thankful that I finally have the opportunity to do that, because there has been countless jobs in my career that I wished that I had that capability. And it was funny because back when I did wish that I had that capability, I didn't know anything about CNCs, and I had that same mentality that I think a lot of people do, is oh, that's just a big expensive machine that I can't afford, that I'd rather just do all this manually because there's so much more glory to doing this and creating this with your hand. There is.
Yes.
There is, but there's no shame in investing and enjoying a CNC mill or a lathe to help you get stuff done. And we all know that they're made for manufacturing, they're made for production. That's generally what they're for. But that's why I was saying earlier that it's really great. I don't remember if I said this or not. I love having the tool room mill. And I honestly think that the tool room mill is a perfect machine to consider starting with. If a shop or anyone that is only using manual, that's wanting to maybe make that merge and add a new piece of equipment, and they want to test the waters and see what kind of capability there is, then look into the tool room mill. Miltronics even has I believe it's the VK5, which is built like a knee mill, like a standard mill, like a Bridgeport. It looks like that, but it's full CNC. But you have manual controls on there too, so you can move it around. Dave was telling me that the head on the thing, it looks like a traditional milling head, that it has like 5 or 6 inches of Z travel up and down, so there's a lot of capabilities. You could even look into something like that, because I'm telling you, once you have a machine like that in your shop and you learn how to operate it and use it, you're going to start liking it.
Yeah.
You're going to say, man, I should have done this
So
a long
cool.
time ago,
Yeah.
and let that machine do all the hard work for you.
Yeah.
And then this mill's opened up so you can go over here and play around and make this one part that you need to make for this customer, while that machine's over there making lots of parts for this job.
Yeah.
Have the best of both worlds in there.
Yes.
And don't just exclude it just because all manual all the time. I'm not that way anymore. We've said this before, we're gonna preserve our heritage and where we came from.
Yes.
The manual stuff is not gonna stop.
No.
But I am definitely leaning into the CNC machines because I am enjoying it. Personally, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm loving it. Every time I do a job on the TRM, I'm smiling, I'm happy. I'm like, look at this. This is so great.
Yeah.
And it does such a good job. It does everything you tell it to do. It does exactly what you tell it to do.
When he comes into the office and he's shoving a part into my face, going, "Look how awesome this is! This is awesome! Look at this!" And I love that. I love when you're excited. Yeah.
So again, I just want to repeat this. If you guys have some kind of interest in getting into a CNC, look into the tool room mills. Our TRM 3016 has all the capabilities of a full-on CNC machine. It's just in a smaller package, and it holds 16 tools. So that's one of the disadvantages, is that you can only hold 16 tools. But what I actually really have come to enjoy for a lot of these small projects I'm doing is I build up my tools that I need, my cutters. You usually have like an end mill, you have a drill, you might have a tap, and you have a chamfer mill. I go and I set those up, and I number them whatever number I want. Instead of messing with the tools that I have in the carousel, those are still in there for our drill index. I did not want to mess with those. So I have these 4 on the toolbox, and you just do a manual install. So as it's going through the program, it's gonna ask you to load whatever tool is next. You take that, you just stick it in, and you hit the button, boom, and you hit cycle start, and it keeps going. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I know this is common. A lot of guys do this every single day. It's new to me because we're finally getting to that process.
Yeah.
So something that I'm going to have to do, or we're going to have to do, is invest in another rack that we can start putting these tools in, because I'm starting to run out of room now, like just where to put these tools. Some of them I'd like to keep the end mills in there and number them so that it just stays, and we're not taking one out and putting another one in there.
Well, now that the ML16 is off to its new home, we are going to start our process of bringing in some of the things that we've really wanted from the other shop.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited about that.
Yeah,
I
me
just
too.
cannot wait to see, the shaper in there.
I know.
I mean,
it's going to drive some guys crazy, Kevin. and so he wants me to sell that thing so bad.
no way.
I'm not selling the shaper.
No
I love
way.
that machine.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, no, it's going to sit right between the CNC lathe and the CNC mill.
That's
it's going
right.
to sit right between them. And he's over there just. No, we're gonna have. We're getting really close to start getting some of our equipment moved down there, and the shop is going to go through a little bit of a. I won't say we're not going to reconfigure what's in there, but we're going to start filling out the rest of that space.
Yes.
So once we're done with this, the shop is going to start looking a lot more full than it does now.
Well, I want the workbench in there. I need it because of all the things that we've been doing. So I need that counter space type of situation. So I'm excited for that to get in there.
Yeah, the workbench. We are excited to get the workbench.
Yeah.
So that's going to go along the wall with the big American flag. That's a long workbench. I think it's like 30 foot long or something. No, it's not that long. But anyway, we got that long wooden workbench that I built when I was like 18 years old. It's been out there forever. And we're going to move that. And Abby's going to have her a nice wooden workbench. I want to put some of our toolboxes on the top like we did, like on the riser. And I don't know, we might even see about building another riser that kind of comes up with like a shelf on there. Maybe a place. We need a good way to organize and store our boxes and our shipping material.
Yeah.
So that's something else. You have to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
You know, those are the kind of things that I look at other people that have already been down this road, and they've got these, areas all designated for this and that. We got to do the same.
Yeah.
You know? So all of our boxes are just kind of like stacked up on top of the office, and every time we want some, we have to go up there and get them and bring them down. So
we also need like a little basket pulley system.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before, but we need that.
An idea that I've had ever since we moved in there, I just haven't ever done it, is I thought it would be cool to have like some kind of like little crane, kind of like a sky hook, if you will, but just some kind of like crane that swivels.
Yes.
That has a hook on it with a basket. And I was thinking it'd be cool to have like a little remote control winch on it.
Oh, that'd be totally cool.
Maybe get some kind of winch from maybe like a Harbor Freight deal.
Yeah.
Where it's mounted up on the top of the office.
Yeah.
And it swivels so that you can just swing it out. And you got a control. You can lower the basket down, put your stuff in it, and then raise it back up and then swing it in and set it down on top.
I want that immediately.
Yeah.
Can we do that immediately? Like, that's awesome.
Just add it to the list,
I know,
right?
add it to the list.
It's
yeah.
been, what, three years now?
Yeah,
I still haven't got to it. But anyway,
No.
that was an idea. We need something like that. I was even thinking about, like, even just putting a pulley up there.
I think
Just
that'd be
having
great.
a rope where you
I'm
just-
fine with the pulley. Yeah.
The problem that we have is that we don't have traditional stairs. When you have stairs, you can generally walk upstairs without having to, hold on to the side and pull yourself up. But we actually have a ladder.
Yeah.
So you have to use your hands to pull yourself up the ladder and hold yourself. So you can't really hold anything with you to
No.
go up the stairs.
Or down.
Or the ladder, I mean.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
We'll have to get that solved.
yeah, that would be a fun project. That would be a good shop project to design and build some kind of crane, just a simple little, like a cherry picker crane.
Yep.
That has a winch and a cable on it that has the hook. Yeah, that would be a fun project.
Let's do that. We have some fun projects coming too. We want to restore some more tools and things
Yeah.
like that, so that
Yeah, I'd like to.
yeah, we had fun doing that one. So
The shaper tool restoration turned out good. We had a really good response from that. That was just a fun, simple video.
yeah,
I've got a couple more of those tools that I was like holding on to. I think I'm going to sell those also. I might restore those. I don't know. And we were talking about doing a vise.
we have to do a vise.
I have a small collection of vices, and I'm planning on selling some of those.
Yeah.
I have some high value vices that I think I'm going to sell, and we have a lot of smaller vices, but I think we're just going to pick one out. Some of them need a little bit of work. Like some of them need jaws made. Some of them have a broken part or something. I've got vices that were given to me that need repair work, but we want to pick out a vise and just do a simple restoration. The Evaporust is so great for that.
Yeah.
You soak it in the Evaporust and you hose it off, scrub it with a soft bristle brush, and it's done.
I think we have a lot in that garage that we can do.
Yeah.
With that,
Yeah. Exactly.
we'll get that going.
Yeah, that'd be something else. So, yeah, I do want to. We're going to show some more of that. It's great stuff for like a Tool Tuesday episode.
Exactly.
Restoring a tool. Well, I think this one's reaching maybe about an hour now. How about we go ahead and wrap this one up and end this one, and
We're gonna have to go clean up all the tire marks.
yes, tire marks.
We're gonna have to go.
Every time I walk out there,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh,
Yeah, we'll
those
have to-
tire marks there.
Yeah, let's add that to our list for next week.
Is it just me? Does it just bother me, or does other guys get annoyed when a forklift puts tire marks everywhere?
I can't wait to read the comments. I'm sure someone else is annoyed by that.
We're going to use some of our CRC,
Yeah.
and we're going to clean those tire marks up. Yeah.
I'll help you.
All right.
We'll get it done.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We've had a good discussion today talking about our new machines, and we really have enjoyed the feedback from everyone out there on the podcast and everything in general. So hopefully you guys are going to continue to enjoy these episodes, and we're going to continue recording them for you.
Yes.
All right. So we hope you enjoyed today's discussion, and we hope you come back for the next episode.
Happy Halloween week.
Absolutely. Don't forget to go enter your chance to win the Abom79 Drill Index. It's over on abom79.com.
Number 11 and number 79.
Those are the serial numbers we're giving away.
Yeah.
With new drills.
With the drills. I love it.
All right, guys, we will talk to you later.